Welcome to the Be Happy Now show. Flex your soul connection muscle and be your inner guide to fulfillment and purpose. I'm Claudia-Sam. If you know that you're here for a bigger reason, this is the place to be. Together, we ditch the self-care guilt and quit the go with less fear and more trust. Tune in to living life in alignment with your full potential. The Be Happy Now show starts now. Welcome to another episode of the Be Happy Now show as we are closing in on the year. It is so powerful that we are getting to a culmination of what our humanness sees as completion. And I'm really, really happy to be with you today for a pop-up workshop on envisioning. Now, this is an opportunity for you to align your energy with your intention and goal as you enter into the new year. If you are part of the Back on Track experience, you will get the extended version of this workshop because, well, you want to get back on track. And so what you're hearing on the Be Happy Now show is just a small portion of the envisioning workshop that took part inside of the Back on Track experience. Now, the Back on Track experience includes 5 opportunities for you to be coached, to be supported, to be held accountable, to do the work so that you can move your routines and your habits forward in a positive way before, through, and as soon as the new year begins. If you have not yet joined us and you want to be supported, you're like, I don't want to wait for the new year. I want to get this done right now. Then go to claudiasamsoulcoaching.com/events and you can, register and you will receive the extended version of this, and you will have access to a Back on Track masterclass to help you reconnect with yourself before the end of the year. And you'll also get kind of a plan of, okay, how do I actually move forward in the new year now? What's the plan? Because the human self often just wants to know, okay, where do I go? How do I go about it? And in the new year, you'll also be invited to get right on doing the work in the first week of January inside the Soul Connector Circle. And then you'll be invited to join me in a 3-day Back on Track challenge that will help you to just do the work in real time and feel like you're actually, moving forward in that positive way. And all of that includes personalized coaching and a live Back on Track activation, not alive, a one-on-one activation, Back on Track activation with me, Claudia-Sam. And so I'm so excited for you to join me for that. Let's begin this envisioning workshop with a discussion on goal and intention, because I want to bust another myth here. In another episode of the Be Happy Now show, we busted the myth of how we need a vision board to reach our goals, and that's actually not how manifestation, quote, air quotes, always works. When it comes to the new year and this culmination point of completion of what the humans see, needs to be an ending and then a new thing. It doesn't have to be this way, but that's how humans here anyway, and in the Western world has looked at it. That's how we've been living our lives, and we don't have to necessarily go about it this way. And you might have heard people ask you, so what's your goal for the new year? What's your vision? Where are you going to? What is the plan? Like, what is that thing that you're going towards? And I've heard some of my clients say, but I can't see that far in the future. I don't know. I don't have that big goal. And other people will want to talk about goals, will want to know where they're going, where they're headed. And so I just want to open up the space to let you know that you don't have to have a goal. You don't have to have that one thing. And yet, if you want one, you get to have one. This is a space where you get to go, okay, I'm actually at choice. I don't have to have a goal. I don't have to have an intention. And yet you can without the fear that it's not going to happen. What I mean by that is that often when we are holding on to a goal, well, it's because behind it all, what drives the goal is the fear of not having it. And today, what I'm going to invite you to do now, if you're part of the Be Happy of the Back on Track experience, you're going to have the coaching questions that come with it. And in the Be Happy Now show, we're just going to have this discussion. And I want you to remember, please, that if you want to, that you get to choose, okay, wait, do I want this goal to be driven by the fear of not having it? Of what it might mean about me if I don't have it? Or am I willing to be open to possibilities and trust that I'm here for a bigger reason and that I don't need to worry. I don't need to hold so tightly on an idea. And yet I get to align my energy with what I want to create, because you're still in this human form to take aligned actions, to move forward and live your purpose. And so if we only trusted and were only the soul self, we would not be the human logical action taking self. And so there might not be flow. There might not be things that are happening because it would be more passive and like in action. And that's not what I'm suggesting here. I'm suggesting that there can be both. There can be the knowing that we are a soul self and that we get to trust and that we get to have goals and take actions to move forward with our divine purpose. Are you ready for this discussion? Okay. Now, what we'll do is that we will work from an intention to be open to many goals. Here's a discussion I've been having with my study group of A Course in Miracles and with some of my friends about the difference with ambition and will. To me, now this is my explanation based on discussions I've had and what I choose to believe. And so you get to take this on, or you get to go, nope, that doesn't resonate. It's all good. You get to be the boss here of your beliefs. You get to be the authority of your beliefs. For me, a goal, the energy of a goal has a similar energy of ambition. Thanks to Marc-André in my A Course in Miracles study group, he pretty much opened me up to this idea that ambition is directly linked to an end goal, an end result. So goal for me now goes hand in hand with ambition. When you have the ambition to reach your goal, you might be holding tightly on the idea that this goal needs to happen. This goal needs to happen. If it doesn't happen, I'm a failure. If it doesn't happen, I did something wrong. If it doesn't happen, well, nothing's going to work for me. Right? It can have that connotation. It can also have that drive energy of moving things forward. And this is where we're going to look at, okay, which energy do I choose to take on? Which energy do I choose to have as I move forward? So goal is, to me, goes hand in hand with ambition. And that has me hold a tightness, a kind of a controlling energy on this end result of this goal needs to happen. Otherwise, it means something about me. Okay. And that has me see that there is no space for the present moment. If there's no space for alignment with the present moment, that means that I'm living back into the go, 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 back into a future forward thinking space that has me disconnected from who I really am, disconnected from the joy and the presence of being in the now. Now, this doesn't make goals and ambition wrong. What I'm exploring with you right now is that in order to live the human experience that you want and get results to make the impact that you want in the world, maybe we can still have ambition without holding a tight grip that it needs to happen. Otherwise, it means something about us. Here's the other side of the coin here, the intention. Okay, so this session is all about aligning your energy with your intention and goal so that you can envision what that looks like for you, so that you can feel like, okay, I'm moving forward. I'm having this momentum. I'm not just stagnant in life. I'm not stuck because I'm going in this direction. So an intention to me is the same as the will. The will, this willingness to move forward, it creates an inner openness. It creates kind of a portal of direction. It creates the portal, or opens the portal to receiving guidance, receiving answers, receiving direction, receiving clarity, receiving money, receiving relationships, receiving partnerships, receiving opportunities. And when I look at that, I go, wow, if I focus on the goal, on the ambition, on controlling somehow the need to get to the end result, I'm not open. I'm moving forward, putting all of these things in my calendar to make sure my human self isn't afraid or doesn't fail or feels safe. And I'm closing myself to receiving. That's how I see it for now. So intention to me means the will. It goes hand in hand with having the will and being in the energy of trust, being in the energy of openness to possibility, in full receiving mode. And that brings me in full alignment with the present moment, in full alignment with the present moment. What happens in the present moment? Clarity. Present moment offers clarity. Yes. So A Course in Miracles says readiness is the prerequisite to accomplishment. Readiness is the beginning of confidence. I'll say that again. According to A Course in Miracles, readiness is the prerequisite to accomplishment. Readiness is the beginning of confidence. So I have 4 questions for you that will bring all of this together. First question, do you want to have a goal, a vision, a direction for the new year? Because you get to be at choice here. Do you want to have a goal, a vision, a direction, a plan? Do you want to know where you're going for the new year? Yes, no, you decide. Second question, what is that? What is that you want? If you don't want a vision or a direction, what is it that you want? Like, what do you want to create? What do you want to experience? I'll share what it is for me. For me, it's reaching higher levels of impact in the world through my business, through speaking in my business, through programs and courses that I offer, through igniting a light in someone who felt like the room was so dark for a long time. Did you just hear my stomach growl? For me, what I want to create, or what I want to experience and be a part of as the human who wants to move her purpose forward, is that I want to develop a community of other like souls. I want to feel like it's not just me behind a screen. It is me with you in person. You know, I want to recreate this in-person feel. So in the new year, there will be so many opportunities for me that I will create, that I will take as aligned actions to be in person with people alongside my virtual community that, you know, I have here with the Tune In program and the Tune In journey and my Soul Connector Circle. Now, what else do I want to experience? I want to live out my dream of living in New Zealand, and it is coming to fruition. It's not, I want to have this specific house with this specific color at this specific time next to this specific person in this specific neighborhood. No, it's, I want to live out my dream of living in New Zealand, the fullness of it. So what is that goal, that vision, that direction that you want for the new year? What do you want to create or experience? And if it's not clear, that's okay, because that opens you up to receiving possibility and getting curious. There's many ways to look at this. Some people will say you need to have your intention be so specific because the universe listens. Totally. And when you are intentional with not being specific because you're open to things that you haven't thought of, that's also a different energy to have. The third question I have for you is, do you believe that one person can experience and create the thing you want in the world? Out of the billions of people who are here, do you believe that there's one person who can do that? And my fourth question is, do you believe that that one person can be you? Do you believe that it can be you, that one person? Be honest with yourself. I'm going to say again what A Course in Miracles says. Readiness is the prerequisite to accomplishment. Readiness is the beginning of confidence. That means that if you do not believe that you are that one person, then you might just not be ready, and that's okay. That might also tell you, okay, well, if I'm not ready, I'm not going to get the results that I want. Let's pivot, right? Let's find something that I am ready for. That's what I want you to tune into today. Tune into something that you are ready for instead of the big out of reach vision of loving yourself. What about your partnering with your body? What about partnering with this human that you get to live in and experience life through? Be a partner with that part of you instead of, battling it and feeling like you're going to go right away for the self-love when you just don't believe it right yet. From belief can come aligned action. Now, I'd love to talk about this for a few seconds. Another quote from A Course in Miracles. You know when you have ceased to ask questions. You know when you have ceased to ask questions. Isn't that powerful? Because when you stopped to ask questions, it means you trust. And you no longer need to convince the mind that it is safe. Okay, because you trust and you no longer need to convince the mind that it is safe by asking questions to prove to the mind, you're okay. Yep, you knew. And I mean, I'm the first one to have asked so many questions. I remember in school being the one person who would always raise my hand. I'd raise my hand and I would have all these questions. Before the teacher would even talk about what there was to talk about, I would ask the question. I was not trusting that the message would come through in due time, in perfect alignment and perfect timing. I wanted to control it. I wanted to make sure I knew. Well, then that's it. I didn't really know because I was not seeking. I was always asking questions. And A Course in Miracle talks about this knowing as when A Course in Miracles says you know when you have ceased to ask questions, the knowledge is the connection with the light of the divine, of God, of positive energy source, of the universe. Knowledge is when you are connected with that truth and that's all you know. Okay. And when we ask questions, we're disconnected from that because we want to know from a mind perspective. That can be a deeper conversation. Whenever I quote A Course in Miracles, trust that your soul will take what it needs. Okay. It's a soul reading, and I get to integrate it as well when I share it with you. So thank you for that opportunity. You're listening to the Be Happy Now show, and this is our part of the pop-up workshop, the Envisioning pop-up workshop, to align your energy with your intention and your goal as you enter the new year. And we're just about to close that portion of the pop-up workshop before I continue live with our participants so that they can be coached and supported to stay and or get back on track before, through, and in the new year. Now, also, A Course in Miracles says, no one who lives in fear is really alive. No one who lives in fear is really alive. How powerful is that? So when we focus too much on a goal, when we're like, let's say I was focusing on me moving to New Zealand and feeling like, I'm going to talk about that in another episode. Don't worry, you'll get to know what's happening. like if I was holding the vision that it needs to go a specific, perfect way, okay? That energy, it's like holding a tight fist, not letting go. It has the energy of fear that if it doesn't happen, it's going to be hard. That if it doesn't happen, it's going to mean something really bad about me. And that would be being guided and led by the energy of fear instead of the energy of trust. The same thing as what we talked about at the beginning. The ambition, the tight control of an end result doesn't allow us to be in the present moment. Whereas if we trust and if we choose a goal that's not driven by fear, but that's driven by openness, receptivity, will, wow, so much is possible. And then you get to, according to A Course in Miracles, you get to be alive, because then you don't live in fear, but you live in trust. Take a deep breath right now. Exhale. Yeah. Let it sink in. Okay. No one who lives in fear is really alive. Wow. Okay. What I want to invite you to do as we close this episode is to this question. Can the energy behind the goal, behind the vision, behind the direction you're heading in for the next year, can that energy not be of a fantasy, of something that is an illusion, that something that is unreal, something that is based on fear, but instead can the energy behind that vision and that direction be a known truth that you are exactly where you need to be? And the known truth means, can you allow your vision and the direction you're heading into be in alignment? Can that be in alignment with the truth of who you are, that light, that divinity, that connection with the present moment, that connection with the soul self? I'll repeat the question again. And maybe to clarify, the inspiration behind my question is A Course in Miracles says fantasies are illusions of a perception. Fantasies are illusions of a perception. Fantasies are illusions of a perception. And the perception comes from the human fear self. So can the energy behind the goal for the new year not be of a fantasy, but of a known truth that you are exactly where you need to be? I'll say it again. Can the energy behind the goal not be a fantasy, but a known truth that you are exactly where you need to be? Take a deep breath in and out. Beautiful. And remember, from belief comes aligned action. And to move forward in this life, we are human. We get to play with both. We get to, not have the goal and the intention or the ambition and the will or the control and the trust be separate. They can be both. It's not that one is better than the other. Both work together because you are a soul living this human experience. So therefore, as you move through this life, well, if you ignore one or the other, it doesn't work. And so many people live on the human only plane. And so it's like saying, well, we can't only live the soul because we are human. Well, if we live only the human, we forget the soul part. And that's also in disconnect with who we really are. Take another deep breath in here. Exhale. And again, you don't have to understand and be able to, you don't have to understand right now. Your soul will record all of this and focus on, are you willing to just be exactly where you need to be and have the vision and the goal just a little bit more loose in a way that you get to be open to possibilities instead of thinking there's only one way to be the happy you this year. Thank you for being here. And remember, if you want to join the Back on Track experience and feel like you are moving your routines and your habits forward in a positive way, before, through, and in the new year, then please go to claudiasamsoulcoaching.com/events. And even if some of the live events have already happened, you will receive the full replays. And this will be your opportunity to get personalized coaching as well with me in your Back on Track activation. See you again soon. Bye. You've been listening to the Be Happy Now show with me, Claudia-Sam. Flex your soul connection muscle and be your inner guide to fulfillment and purpose. You are worthy of being you and of connecting to what stops you from living the life you are meant to live. Access more soul connection coaching at claudiasamcoaching.com.